Have you ever felt someone's words slice through your peace? Their careless actions claw at the edges of your self-control. Maybe it was a cheap insult, a thoughtless gesture, a petty slight that shouldn't have mattered, yet it consumed you. Here's the brutal truth the Machiavelli demand you face. The wound wasn't inflicted by them. You did it to yourself. You surrendered. You handed over the keys to your inner fortress and let a fool march in and torch the place. Pathetic. Most people shuffle through life like this, emotional slaves, chained to the moods and opinions of others, at the mercy of anyone loud enough, cruel enough, or ignorant enough to provoke them. But what if you stopped handing out that power? What if every insult bounced off you like a dull blade striking steel? What if every provocation shattered uselessly against you as the storm breaks against the mountain? This is not numbness. This is command. The ruthless discipline of a mind that bows to no one. A self so fortified that nothing, no slight, no betrayal, no injustice, can drag it off its chosen course. And understand this, when you master yourself, you don't just protect your peace. You expand your reach. You project an aura of control that bends others. You stand unshakable while weaker men collapse. That is power. That is dominion. If you're ready to seize that control, subscribe. Not for me. For your own survival. Let this be the moment you choose strength over fragility, discipline over chaos, sovereignty over slavery. Law number 1, command your reaction. The world is a testing ground. You step out with calm intentions, but life never fails to strike. A barista mangles your order. A coworker's joke cuts sharper than it should. A stranger slices in front of you on the road. Pathetic people collapse in these moments. They whine. He ruined my mood. She made me angry. Weakness talking. Cowardice masquerading as truth. No one makes you feel anything. Unless you grant them the privilege, you surrender. You bend the knee. The Machiavelli knew this centuries ago. Epictetus spat the truth. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The trigger may be external, but the explosion, that's your doing, your weakness. Even modern psychology confirms it. The event doesn't shape you. The story you tell yourself does. One man sulks after being ignored. Another laughs and walks on. The difference? Discipline, narrative, power. So how do you wrest back control? First, slow the charge. When provoked, pause. Hold the reins. Your emotions will thrash like a wild beast, but even a second of deliberate breathing snaps the chain reaction. The fool lunges. The master waits. Second, shatter the story. Your coworker criticizes you. The fragile man mutters, "They don't respect me." The disciplined man asks, or are they just tired, distracted, overwhelmed? By questioning, you carve open space. You regain freedom. Third, detach your state from outcomes. The archer releases his arrow. Beyond that, the wind rules. So too in life. You command your aim, your words, your choices, your resolve. The result? Never yours to govern. Understand this, and you become untouchable. Every insult, every jab, every petty slight. They are mirrors. They expose where your armor is thin. The weak resent this. The strong exploit it. These moments are gifts, proof of where you must grow sharper. And here's where the real power emerges. When you master your reactions, you deny others the satisfaction of controlling you. They strike, yet nothing happens. They provoke, yet you remain unmoved. Imagine the terror in their eyes when their games no longer work. This is not suppression. Suppression festers. This is ownership. You feel the anger, but you decide its use. You choose the timing. You decide whether the blade stays sheathed or cuts when it serves you. Because here is the ultimate truth. If you let the world dictate your emotions, you are not a person. You are a puppet, a slave dangling on invisible strings. But when you seize control, when you say, "My reaction is mine alone," you reclaim your sovereignty. Self-mastery is not just survival, it is strategy. The man who owns himself cannot be manipulated, and the man who cannot be manipulated rules everyone around him. Guard the space between what happens and what you do. Defend it with your life. In that space lies your freedom, your strength, your throne.
Hey guys, we're Strategy, based in Abu Dhabi. We use AI tools to make these concepts come to life, but it's our amazing team who goes deep, breaking down powerful philosophical ideas and showing how they really apply in everyday life. We hope you enjoyed today's content.
Law number 2. Strike from stillness. In every heated clash, there is a moment, a split second when the world accelerates. Voices rise, blood surges, your body lunges ahead before your mind can catch up. A coworker's sharp tone, a friend's sarcastic jab, a stranger slicing into your lane, and instantly, the weak reveal themselves. Shoulders stiffen, hearts pound, their mouths open before their brains arrive. They fire blind shots, words, actions, explosions of impulse, only to spend hours, even days, drowning in regret. Pathetic, predictable, controlled. This is where the herd fails, and where the disciplined rise. The true weapon is the pause, the stillness before the strike, the refusal to be rushed into stupidity. It sounds simple, too simple, but never underestimate it. A single pause can decide whether you keep influence or destroy it, whether you command respect or bleed it out through careless words. When you pause, you seize the space between trigger and response. That space is territory most men will never conquer. And in that territory lives wisdom, strategy, dominance. Do not mistake restraint for weakness. It is the opposite. The fool is dragged by his emotions like a prisoner in chains. The master stands his ground, feet planted, unmoved. To pause is to seize control of your own battlefield. The brain's amygdala screams, fight or flee. But a breath, a moment, a naming of the emotion, that is the counter-strike. You let your prefrontal cortex, the seat of reason, come online. Now you are no longer reacting. You are choosing, calculating, preparing. Even 10 seconds is enough. Step 1, catch the trigger. Step 2, breathe. Step 3, name the emotion, label it, disarm it, own it. This does more than protect you. It terrifies others. Imagine a rival trying to provoke you, only to watch their efforts collapse. They throw their insults like stones into the sea, and you remain untouched, immovable, unreadable. That unpredictability is power. It unsettles. It commands respect. The pause also sharpens your reputation. People learn quickly. Your words carry weight. You are not dragged into petty exchanges. You do not react. You decide. And when you finally speak, the room listens. Make no mistake, you will fail sometimes. You will lash out, regret, learn. But even failure is troning. Every mistake reveals where your defenses are weak, where the armor must be reforged. Seneca was ruthless in his truth. He who angers you conquers you. The pause is your shield, your refusal to be conquered. Remember this, you owe no one an immediate response. Not your enemies, not your friends, not the world. You owe yourself sovereignty. In the pause lies your self-command. In self-command lies your freedom. And in that freedom, you claim the authority to strike when you choose, not when they demand. Law number 3, abandon the illusion of reciprocity. One of the most pathetic weaknesses in human nature is this, expecting others to act like you. You show kindness, respect, loyalty. and then you seethe when it isn't returned. I'd never ignore their message. I'd never speak to them like that. I'd never treat them so carelessly. And that's exactly the problem. You think your code is universal. You live as if the world owes you the mirror of your own behavior. Machiavelli would laugh at you. He would sneer, because this is not morality. It is delusion. People do not live by your rules. They live by theirs. Your way of seeing the world is not the way. It is a way. And the moment you let go of this childish expectation, you cut away one of the greatest sources of unnecessary suffering. When someone disappoints you because you wouldn't act that way, pause. Ask, why does this sting? Is it really about them? Or about your fragile belief that fairness is guaranteed? That others are bound by a contract they never signed? It's weakness, dependency, self-inflicted misery. Understand this. People operate from their own values, instincts, and priorities. What you call rude, they may see as normal. What you call urgent, they may see as irrelevant. To rage at this is as absurd as yelling at a dog for not speaking English. You are projecting your yardstick onto another world, and in doing so, you hand them your peace, your control, your power. This is why the Stoics were merciless in their teaching. Some things are in your control. Most things are not. You cannot control their words, their actions, their betrayals. You control only yourself, your boundaries, your choices, your response. So stop policing others. Stop dragging them toward your mold. Instead, reveal them. Let their behavior show you who they are, then act accordingly. The friend who cancels again and again, believe them. That is who they are. Decide if they belong in your circle. The coworker who steals credit, expect it. Guard your work. Adapt your strategy. This isn't surrender. It's superiority. You no longer waste energy demanding that the world reflect you. You save that energy for domination, for bending circumstances to your will instead of crying that reality isn't fair. And here's the irony. When you stop expecting reciprocity, you gain compassion without weakness. You see the exhausted cashier, the unreliable friend, the arrogant colleague, and you recognize the forces driving them. You don't excuse them, you don't indulge them, but you understand them. And understanding makes you stronger than resenting. Expectation is a chain. Breaking it is liberation. Once you abandon the illusion of reciprocity, you stop being blindsided by disappointment. You stop being fragile. You stop bleeding energy into fantasies of fairness. You walk into every room clear-eyed, armored, untouchable. No illusions, no surprises, just control. And when you control your expectations, you control your peace. And when you control your peace, you control the field. Law number 4, kill the craving to be right. There is a rush that comes with being right. A surge of ego. The intoxicating spark of satisfaction when facts, logic, and the moral high ground are on your side. And when someone dares to challenge you, that spark becomes fire. You must prove it. You must make them see. Pathetic. This is not strength. It is bondage. The more you cling to the need to be right, the more it bleeds you dry. You waste energy in arguments that don't matter. You trade connection for petty combat. And even when you win, you walk away hollow, victorious in nothing. Machiavelli understood this weakness for what it is, vanity disguised as principle. Marcus Aurelius offered the antidote. You always own the option of having no opinion. Not apathy, discipline, the power to choose where your energy goes, and when silence is stronger than triumph. The herd believes that winning debates equals winning life. Fools. Most arguments are not about truth. They are about ego. And ego, unmastered, will happily burn your peace just to feel important. The next time you feel your pulse rise, the words, "That's not true," surging in your throat, stop. Ask yourself, is this about truth or is this about me? If it's the latter, you are not defending reality, you are defending weakness. Because here is the brutal truth. When you need to prove yourself, you are no longer free. You are a puppet on the other person's strings. They pull, you dance, they provoke, you bleed energy. That is not power, it is servitude. Seneca warned us. We should conduct ourselves not as if we ought to live for our arguments, but as if we could live perfectly well without them. The powerful man knows when to disengage. He senses when the debate has rotted into ego sparring. He does not beg to be understood. He does not chase validation. He simply withdraws. We see it differently. I understand your point. End of battle. End of waste. That is not surrender. That is superiority. It shows that your peace outranks your pride. And make no mistake, by killing the craving to be right, you gain something far greater. You conserve your energy for wars worth fighting. You sharpen your clarity. You become unpredictable. No one can bait you into pointless fights. And unpredictability is terror to your rivals. Epictetus sealed it. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. The man addicted to being right closes the door to growth. The man free from it grows unstoppable. So choose, win the argument, or rule yourself. Because when you rule yourself, you don't just keep your peace, you gain leverage. You become the rare force others cannot provoke, cannot predict, cannot control. That is not weakness, that is dominion. Law number 5, deny the tongues their throne. How pathetic it is that a few words can cripple a man, a passing remark, a casual insult, a single sentence, and suddenly it echoes in his skull for hours, even days. He replays it on a loop. Is it true? Did they mean it? He gnaws on it like a dog with a bone, bleeding dignity with every thought. This is weakness, servitude. To let another's tongue define your worth is to live as their prisoner. Machiavelli would laugh at such fragility. Words only carry weight if you kneel to them. They are air, unless you grant them power. Marcus Aurelius cut through the illusion. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Translation: you chose to suffer, and what you chose, you can revoke. Every opinion hurled at you says more about them than about you. The man who mocks your ambition has long since buried his own. The one who sneers at your appearance is at war with his reflection. Their words are not truth. They are confessions, disguised as attacks. But the herd doesn't see this. They absorb every comment like sponges, swelling with praise, shrinking with criticism, pathetic, predictable, controllable. The disciplined man does not sponge, he filters. He decides who earns the right to shape his reflection. Trusted voices are considered. The rest are discarded like garbage on the street. Epictetus had the perfect retort. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses. Say, he was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned only these. Humor, perspective, invulnerability. Think of your mind as a fortress. Would you leave the gates wide open for every beggar and thief to walk in and rearrange your throne room? Then why let any fool's words rearrange your self-worth? This is the Machiavellian way. Use words as mirrors, not as maps. If a critique reveals something useful, sharpen yourself. If not, cast it aside. Either way, you decide. Always you. Because here lies the true power. When insults no longer pierce you, neither can flattery inflate you. You become untouchable, steady. The same in storms and in applause. The mob cannot move you, and that immovability terrifies them. Understand this: when you separate your worth from their words, you gain dominion. The flatterer loses his leverage, the critic loses his sting. You strip the crowd of its power to raise or ruin you. So the next time their voices echo, ask, does this define me, or does it expose them? That single question cuts chains. It keeps your throne intact, because in the end, only one voice matters, the one within. Guard it like a crown, speak it with precision, and let it become the foundation on which all others break. Law number 6, guard your gates, rule your domain. There comes a moment when you realize this brutal truth. Every yes you give the world is a silent no to yourself. And the weak give until they are empty. They run errands for everyone else's agenda, bleeding themselves dry, then collapse in exhaustion, wondering why they feel hollow, pathetic. They whine about burnout while handing out pieces of themselves like scraps at a feast. Machiavelli understood long before psychology gave it a name. If you do not guard your gates, your inner kingdom is overrun. Marcus Aurelius warned, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Fill yourself with the chaos of others, and you take on their chaos. Boundaries are not polite suggestions. They are defenses, shields, the walls and gates of your fortress. Not walls to isolate you, but gates you decide when to open and when to close. You choose, always you. Think of energy as currency. Every interaction, every favor, every project, another withdrawal. Without deposits, rest, solitude, strategy, you fall into overdraft, bankrupt. And when you are bankrupt, you are weak. Seneca's warning was merciless. Men are frugal in guarding their wealth, but squander their time. Time is life. To waste it is the highest stupidity. And here's the enemy you must face: fear. Fear of rejection, fear of being seen as selfish, fear of disappointing parasites who feed on your lack of boundaries. Remember this: the ones who protest the loudest when you set limits are the ones most invested in exploiting you. Their anger is your proof that the boundary is necessary. Practical boundaries are weapons. Cut off work notifications past the hour you choose. Dictate your social calendar instead of bending to theirs. Starve emotional leeches by rationing access. Each act is not weakness. It is sovereignty. Understand, boundaries are not selfishness. They are stewardship. When you protect your energy, you can wield it with precision. You show up stronger, sharper, more effective. Like the soldier who sharpens his blade before battle, you prepare yourself to cut when it counts. And here lies the Machiavellian mastery. By fortifying your gates, you make your presence rarer, more valuable. People learn that access to you is not free. It is earned, and scarcity creates power. Protecting your energy is not about hiding. It is about declaring, my life is mine, my time is mine, my attention is mine. Guard your gates, rule your domain. For the man who fails to defend his borders is no king. He is a servant in his own castle. Law number 7, sever the chains of approval. Most men never taste true freedom. They live like dogs on a leash, forever glancing over their shoulder to see who is nodding or frowning. From childhood, they were trained. Grades, compliments, applause, conditioned to seek permission slips for their existence. And so they waste their lives chasing validation, bending and twisting to fit the expectations of others. Pathetic, exhausting, dangerous. For when your worth depends on the shifting winds of opinion, you have handed over your crown. You've made your happiness a hostage. Machiavelli saw it clearly. The man who lives for approval lives as a shadow, a reflection. a mirror image of other people's desires, but different people demand different things. So he contorts himself into something unrecognizable, a puppet, a hollow shape. Detachment is the only antidote, to see opinions not as verdicts, but as data, each one a confession of the speaker's own limits. They call you reckless for chasing ambition. It is their own cowardice speaking. They call you too quiet. It is their unease with silence. Every judgment they spit is a mirror of them, not a sentence upon you. And here lies the brutal truth. You will be misunderstood. Let it happen. It is not your duty to correct the world's delusions. They will project, they will gossip, they will twist. Let them. You answer only to yourself. When you detach, you reclaim your energy. No more replaying every slight. No more obsessing over every raised eyebrow. That energy returns to its rightful place, your craft, your growth, your conquests. Define your own measures of success. If your yardstick bends every time someone opens their mouth, you will never stand tall. But when your standard is carved from your own principles, integrity, mastery, vision, you become unshakable. And this is where detachment becomes weapon. Because the man who no longer craves approval cannot be controlled. He is immune to bribes of praise, immune to threats of scorn. He is unpredictable, untouchable, ungovernable. That is power. That is freedom. So sever the chains of approval, burn them, step forward unbound. For in the end, living for applause is self-abandonment. Living by your own principles is sovereignty, and sovereignty is the only throne worth claiming.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.